listeners, and welcome back to the Skylight Books podcast series. You're in for another Better Than the Movie, in which some booksellers get together to talk about film adaptations of books. Quite often we have a talented guest with us, but today it's just the boys, the BTTM boys, hanging out. I am your co-host, Justin Remer.
I'm Tyler Austin.
And I'm Allan Traylor.
And we just changed up the order there to just keep it spicy.
That was nice.
Well, we're in a flipped room, so the order
we
should
had to go the other way.
Also,
It's true. Yeah.
Actually, I should have started.
Okay.
You
No,
want to do the
let's-
intro?
let's
Cut the intro?
There's no way I'm doing that spiel.
We don't have to do the spiel, but just we'll do the names. All right.
Okay, yeah. I'm your host, Allan Traylor. I felt natural, right?
I loved it,
Such
actually.
a natural, good delivery.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm Tyler Austin.
I'm a person.
And I'm saucy, sexy Justin.
X-rated. Can't do that.
And today we are discussing, for Better Than the Movie, Planet of the Apes. After all, in the motion picture theaters right now, we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, the 50th sequel.
So we thought we would take it back to the original film from the 60s, directed by Franklin J. Schaffner and written by Michael Wilson and Rod Serling.
Mr. Twilight.
Mr. Twilight Zone.
Twilight Man.
Based on the novel by Pierre Boulle, who is a Frenchman who also wrote The Bridge Over the River Kwai and stole the Oscar from Michael Wilson.
Is it stealing if they give it to you?
Yeah, I mean, they did put his credit on instead of... Yeah, anyhow. Blacklisting. We'll get into it, but yeah, so that's...
let's break it down. HUAC, it's bad, okay? You know what McCarthyism is? We're starting there.
Yeah. Let's bring it back, I say.
All the way. We need to lay the pipe for this bad boy.
Lay the pipe for this bad boy, Tyler just said.
No notes.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Right off the bat.
So normally we interview the guest up top, but maybe we should just talk a little bit about like our experience with the Planet of the Apes franchise. Since you're at that end of the room, Allan, what's your experience with the apes in general?
I've seen, I think, all of them except for the TV show.
Okay.
I want to say I saw the original first, and then maybe... I think I wanted to see the original before the Tim Burton one came out. I can't remember when. When did that come out? Like 2000?
Like 2001, yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I wanted to see it before.
It's by far
then.
the worst thing that happened in the year 2001.
God damn it. Yeah, I can't think of a single thing that happened that was worse than that. Cry Against Humanity. Mark and Mark must be stopped. Also, doesn't he have that thing where if he was on the plane, he would have...
That's true. If I was on that space station, I'd have stopped those apes. That's what I would have done.
Well, he specifically calls them monkeys the whole time.
That's right. I'd have stopped those monkeys.
Anyways.
Wait, actually, oh boy. Never mind. Okay. Well,
I saw, I'm pretty sure I saw the first one, and then I saw the Tim Burton. And then I was like, oh, these are wild. And I just kind of watched all of them. The original, 5 movies?
Yes.
It's pretty great, pretty bonkers. And I love the newest trilogy quite a bit.
Nice.
I don't know about this latest. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, we'll chat a little about Kingdom in a sec. What about, because all three of us went to see Kingdom together in prep for this, even though the book has fuck all to do with Kingdom.
It's got a little bit. It's got something.
they laid the pipe.
I understand why they call Caesar Bright Eyes in the trilogy now.
Oh,
it's an Easter egg to the book.
Yeah.
And
and the original movie.
Yeah.
I watched the original with my dad on television, which is the thing I think everybody does at a certain point.
Yeah.
They're like, this movie blew my mind when I was 7. Now it's going to blow your mind. And
I wonder if I also watched it with my dad. Yeah, maybe.
just one of those kind of, it feels like a real 60s dad movie. I don't know. Great. Loved it. Definitely have seen around that same time, like a bunch of the other sequels and bits and pieces on television. Like there was the Planet of the Apes marathon on whatever, Bravo, A&E, whatever. Pick a channel that had nothing but content.
Trio.
Epics could have been
Spike TV, maybe.
Spike TV. They did. Well, And
That feels like a Spike TV
As we
thing.
talked about, FX was playing
Yeah.
the Tim Burton apes all the time, so I definitely saw that on FX DVD on FX.
Yeah.
With all the little bonus features as we were.
His best movie, I believe you said it was?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, within that setting,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
It's-
His best movie about apes is
Apes
what you said.
put on TV as a DVD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah,
That was the qualifier.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Because I thought you also said something about like "suck it, Batman Returns." Which is that?
Yeah, well,
did
that
I
is-
mishear you, or-
Whoa! What's this against Batman Returns over here?
Look.
And you were also
Oh,
like,
buddy, we're gonna have words about that one.
you were like, he really did something good with Alice in Wonderland. I think I also heard you saying like
that was
yeah.
an achievement. That's a towering achievement.
Sure.
And can we,
you're wearing a Futterwhacking T-shirt right now. I should have known. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just don't think anything Michelle Pfeiffer does in Batman Returns is good.
But the leather suit she wears, what
Nope.
are you talking about?
Just felt nothing. Yeah, it's definitely
Wow.
not the coolest thing ever.
Okay, thank God. You're
Well,
joking.
yeah, what?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, good
Oh,
luck.
I got really scared
he,
for a second.
He
man.
legit did not say "suck it, Batman Returns." I was just
Oh,
digging
you scared me, buddy.
an improv hole for him to dig himself out of.
Yeah, I found it. I found the shovel. I started
Yeah.
digging.
I'm also starting an improv show here. Yes.
Yeah. So what's a career? I don't have one.
Three peas in a pod, I think is what we're going to be calling it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I should have been an improv.
So anyways,
I forgot we were even
back
talking
to
about.
the apes.
That's right.
Of the new trilogy, I only saw the first one, and I was like,
So, Rise of the Planet.
Yeah.
Rise of the Planet
Which
of the
is
Apes.
kind of the weakest.
It is by far.
It's the weakest human story for sure.
Well, James Franco is asleep.
He's always
He
asleep,
is
though.
legally asleep in that
Yeah.
movie for all of it. And I just then basically was like, well, I don't really care. As good as Circus is, I just did not end up seeing the next two.
Yeah.
Now, after seeing Kingdom and like having revisited all that we have, I will go watch those.
I think they're worth it. I
Yeah.
mean, especially after seeing the newest one, they're just redoing that story sort of anyways, so
Yeah. I will say, it seems like it's over the course of all of it, like all of the movies, it's a very dependable franchise. I
Yeah.
feel like it kicked off by the original movie and the book. I mean, it becomes a very thinky kind of movie that you can put a lot of different thematic elements into, or different
mostly just
social
racism, though.
commentary. Mostly
lot of
racism,
racism, yeah.
hierarchy,
A whole lot of it.
societal bullshit, all that stuff.
All of it comes back
You
down
could
to
put that
racism,
in there
though,
in
yeah.
a big old gumbo, and it's pretty good. It's again, it's
But mostly like eugenics and racism,
Yeah.
right?
mostly
Yeah.
those are the
lot
big
of
ones,
racism.
and like again, roles in society and these
Yeah,
types of
yeah,
things,
yeah,
which kind of
yeah,
comes
yeah.
back to racism.
Sure,
but
yeah.
ultimately, there's a lot more going on there than I think your average franchise. It has a lot more.
I think
to
what
consider.
it became, yes.
Well, yeah. Oh, well, certainly
Not
the first
from that
one.
source material.
No, not
Let
from
me,
the source
I don't
let me
know.
tell you, bro.
I think if you, well, we can get into it, but I think there is something politically interesting in the book that isn't just race based. Although he does
Yeah.
divide classes by like types of apes.
And like
very
'cause
idea of racism.
he is French,
Yeah. So we shouldn't hold it against them? Is that what you're going to say?
I'm just saying they don't have race there.
Oh, right. They just have
his
rudeness.
is much more about societal differences and
yeah.
hierarchies of like that kind of thing, because there
And he-
are no other people.
And he
there.
wouldn't
Yeah.
think of like French colonies at all because like yeah.
That shit's
I mean, let's-
awesome. He's super pumped about
Let's
it.
be honest.
He wants
that-
a vacay and
he wrote this book on a napkin and then published it. Let's be real.
He thought of an ape planet, and he was
He
like,
thought of the
"I
title and it
am
was like-
good.
Yeah, I'm just going to let it run.
La
First
Planète
draft
des
only, please.
Singes.
It was very interesting to read
Monkey
the book,
Planet.
and then like every once in a while, you'd be like, the guy would be like, "Oh, I'm from Normandy," and you'd be like, "Oh, right, French." Oh, yeah.
Damn it.
Well, especially the version I did because I did a YouTube audiobook because I guess it's an Audible exclusive because you, Allan, did
Yeah, I
the
listened to
legit
it proper.
audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who read it had a slight southern twinge accent. So then whenever he was
nice.
like, I am from France, monsieur, it's just like, that was funny. Okay, so real quick, my history with the apes is I think I similarly saw the original Heston around the time that the Burton came out, just so I could, be snobby and be like, well, this is better.
Yeah.
Although I think at the time I was just a little bored because it wasn't quite what I expected, and it takes a half hour before you see an ape. So
Yeah.
It's got to have all that build up.
Well, but that's the thing.
A couple of boys take a little naked dip in the pond,
Right.
you know.
Now I love that. I love that it's such a nice slow build, and like it's not until like the midpoint, like hour in, that they know he can actually speak when he says the classic line.
Yeah, instead of a rehearsed speech from the book in which they're all in awe of him, he's just like, "You goddamn dirty apes!"
You dirty apes.
It's like, wow. But it kind of works in the movie. It's pretty powerful.
But what I also love too about that shot, because I watched it a couple times, I don't know, just because it just is such a moment, is like his hair is smushed against the net. It's like it's not a beauty shot at all.
Yeah, he's had a bad day.
He looks fucking awful, and then he's like, "Get your paws off me, you damn dirty ape!"
Yeah,
it's just like such a moment.
He's also been trying to talk for a long time, so he's like, "I'm so mad, I'm just gonna break through."
He keeps trying to steal Zara's paper.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, he's so cute." Yeah,
sexual tension. And then
you're just so ugly.
I watched the newer trilogy, liked it, although I realized like in the lead up to Kingdom that most of it had left my brain, so I kind of feel like I need a rewatch of that.
Oh, Humans bad, ape good.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
Caught you up.
And at some point, I think it was the second time I got COVID, I rewatched Planet of the Apes and I bought the whole original 5 films in a box. But I only got through 1 and 2 before I was like, my COVID won't let me concentrate on things. And that second one is just so bananas. Bananas.
Come on, you're better than that. Not really, though.
Yeah.
Surprised it took that long. Honestly.
No one's above that.
which a quick spoiler for that. 3, 2, 1. It ends with them blowing up the fucking Earth. Wow.
Because they're
what would it go?
Nuclear-loving mutant freaks.
Yeah,
they live underground. What else are they going to do?
Yeah, but it's one of those things too that rewatching the original movie now after knowing what happens in the second one, it's like, oh, the part where Dr. Zaius is like, all right, tell me about your tribe. I know that there's like a weird tribe. Like not seeing that sequel, you're like, oh, he's just paranoid. Yeah. But then it's like, oh, well, actually, in the world there is a weird tribe, and they worship a fucking nuclear bomb.
Kind of awesome.
Yeah. It's like
he's still definitely paranoid.
No, I know. but like it becomes the best. Like, oh, we meant to do that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Of like, you know.
Yeah, we meant to write a sequel to this popular movie. Sure,
it's gonna be insane. Yeah.
It's just almost as good of a we meant to do that as like bringing Jason back in Friday the 13th Part 2.
You're right. It's on par. Yeah, perfectly paired.
All right. Well, we got through our history. So what we usually talk about the genre that our selection is in. What would we call this genre apart from monkey story, futuristic sci-fi? Like what do we want to pick? What do we want to talk about? Because none of us have prepped.
White dude in the wrong neighborhood. I don't know.
Sure.
Judgment Night.
Person crash lands on planet or is alone. You got another Charles Heston. You got the Omega Man. You got I don't know.
Soylent Green, where it's also a dystopian future bummer movie.
No, that future's great. I don't see any.
You think it's good?
Yeah, it's good.
Cool. Yeah.
Ben-Hur.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, there's only Planet of the Apes. There's no easy genre to slide into from that.
Yeah. I was even
because it's so many things in one.
I was even trying to think of like other things that are like franchises that like spun out in interesting ways from a source, but like even something like James Bond, like there was a series of books, or
well, probably like Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, you're right. The extended Fast and Furious universe.
Yeah, I feel like those are movies with a message, and they spun out in their own way.
Yeah.
Didn't Gibson get paid for Terminator? Or didn't he get ripped off on something and he sued someone and he got paid for it?
Oh, maybe Harlan Ellison?
No, you're right. It is Harlan
Ellison.
Yeah, I think it was for the Terminator.
Soldier. Is that the episode of The Outer Limits, right? That he wrote?
I don't know what he claimed. Yeah, but Harlan Ellison made sure he got paid on someone else's hit for sure.
And look, in all the Terminator movies are perfect in every way. So all great, no notes.
Did you bang your head? What happened?
Yeah, it hurts a lot. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's like a franchise that's sprawled out of control. There's not. I can't think of any. Man, we should have prepared, huh?
It's all right. I'll cut it all out.
Yeah, no, I'd leave it in, man. Fuck it.
It is, yeah. I mean, where it goes that far, and then like also kind of unsuccessfully tries to reboot itself, and then very successfully reboots itself. I mean, it's quite a tail. I mean,
yeah,
a monkey tail.
Yeah. Well, they finally realized to keep it going, you gotta flip whose side we're on.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Because even the book, I mean, all of them are like, humans fucking suck.
Well, that's the thing is it seems like Burton's, at least from my vague memory, and then like reading the synopsis, because you rewatched it, but I didn't bother to.
I'm stupid that way.
Is that it does seem to try to go a little bit more back to the book, where it's like sticking with his point of view, and then like he goes back to Earth, like. And then Abe Lincoln,
sort of, but it adds a whole bunch of other weird shit.
But it's like, but like that's such a worse choice than the like, hey, the apes are the heroes, like,
right? Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, because
especially with Marky Mark just being a fucking asshole.
Do not give a shit about that guy.
And you're also supposed to believe that he's like smart and like an astronaut.
Yeah, no chance. No,
you put in a lot of work and time.
No. They're like in random in the Tim Burton one, they're in a random part of space doing I have no fucking clue. They just have a space station out there and they're just like testing stuff, but not really. But they send apes first.
Yeah, he's
but
got
not
his
really
little monkey buddy.
Yeah,
but so if I remember correctly, right, it's like basically he inadvertently causes the ape society, right? Like somehow.
No, it makes it seem that way. It's. He jumps. The crew is what starts the ape society. So the whole space station crashes, and then somehow the apes just get smart,
or something, right?
And they take over.
Yeah,
and then he lands way after the fact, and then he finds like his old space station. It's like a part of like a cave and shit. Yeah. So I guess it is kind of similar in that way to like the excavation of the book.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But at least it doesn't have that frankly fucking absurd genetic memory, whatever the fuck that was in the book.
The electronic whatever.
God level like science.
Right, well.
Like, yeah, what the fuck? Yeah. What a choice. What a choice.
All right, well let's
hated the book.
Let's run down the plot of that thing you hated a bit. And then we can compare movie and whatever, but I think maybe the book would be a little simpler to.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, because nothing happens. It's pretty simple.
Well, first things first, there's a very fun framing device where Jin and...
Which we both called.
Yeah, I knew immediately what was going to be the reveal at the end of that. What's the other? Jin and other guy, their lady... One of them. Anyways,
yeah, wait. Did I bring the book with me? I might have fallen.
They're in like a weird. He loved describing.
They're on a space yacht.
Yeah, that little space yacht with
lovingly
its sail.
Described.
And like how it like somehow gets bigger. The actual thing gets bigger and smaller.
It sails on light. You see.
Yeah, it sails on light, and he created a quite ingenious solution in which he could block some of the sun to send them left, or
it's like maybe you should have wrote your story about this spaceship.
You like this fucking spaceship?
You seem more interested in that than the goddamn plot.
He's all over it, and then what do they see?
Well, that was such a weird thing to start with, because initially I was like, does Pierre Boulle not know like the physics of space flight? But then he does, but somehow like
it's in the future.
These magic beings have figured out a vacation.
It's a very French idea to have a pleasure space yacht.
Yeah, pleasure space yacht that runs on light radiation.
Yeah.
They're floating around, and what do they see? Again, they're on a space yacht, so what do they find? A space message in a bottle, which is just a message in a bottle.
Yes.
And one of them pops out of their little yacht, and they scoop it up and they've apparently used it to scoop up things before. Anyways, they pop back in, and then one of them's like, I can read, and then they start reading. And then they make a point of like one of them keeps interrupting the other because they don't quite understand English as well, because it's all written in English, or I guess
or French
originally. And like he's
but
like,
also like in a very like on the nose way, it keeps going like, wait, this was written by a man?
Yeah.
By a man.
A man would have written this?
Yeah. Wait, this is the thoughts of a man.
A
This
human
will come back
being?
later.
Yeah. And then finally the one who's reading goes like, if you don't interrupt me anymore, if you stop interrupting, I won't read. And then he's like, and then she did not interrupt me.
Yes.
And then again, just to put a lady in her place.
Yeah. He wants you really to remember this framing device.
This
It's
is
going to be
so
crucial for a thing he's doing much later.
Important.
Yeah.
So we find out that it's this message sent by basically. I already want to be like
What's
comparing
his name?
it.
Ulysse?
Ulysse
Ulysse.
Meru.
Ulysse.
I'm like already struggling not to be comparing it to the movie because I feel like
which the Southern guy kept calling Ulysses because it looks like Ulysses without the S.
it very much does.
But in French it would be Ulysse.
Ulysse. Oh, that makes
we
sense.
ain't in France, man.
Sure, let's call
We
him.
in the U.S. of A. right now,
Let's
dude.
call him Ulysses.
Well, I'm calling him Ulysses from here on out.
Which also explains why. What are they? He's just Andy in Andy Taylor in the
Yeah.
I just remember Taylor,
Taylor, yeah. My name is Taylor.
right. Oh, Andy Taylor is Andy Griffith's character from the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, yes.
Never mind.
It's something. Yeah, it's
I don't remember his first name at all.
probably like James Taylor.
Yeah. Probably.
He's seen
Probably
fire.
James Taylor.
He's
And-
seen fire. He's seen rain. Yeah.
Yes, he's gone to space. I mean, what do you think that beginning of that movie is? Well, anyway, so this is where I begin. I'm already like, oh, we can start because the movie's obviously so much more well known. They're not astronauts, really, right? In the way that like we know them in the movie. In the book,
Yeah, 'cause-
he's a journalist.
Yeah.
And,
Ulysses is a journalist. There's a. Is he just a
Basically,
doctor or a
like,
scientist? or-
I think he's like a professor / like
'cause
rich benefactor.
Yeah.
Who like is planning the whole thing, and then that guy's like assistant.
and then it's Professor Antel, and then who's the third guy?
Is just like an assistant, isn't he like a mentee to the professor guy?
I don't even remember what happens. So he just gets killed in the first
he
hunt,
gets,
right?
he's
just
like
gets killed.
Dodge in the movie who gets killed. Yeah, in the hunt. Yeah, so they go for many years across it's 2 years, right? But it's like 700 times relative. Blah blah blah.
Oh, right, because they spend a year getting up to the speed of light,
And then they
travel for the speed of light for bloop, and then slow down for another year from the speed of light.
Yeah, and they're going to this big point that's like basically like the sun but bigger. If it was the sun, it
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. It would like he describes again how would like our Earth would be inside of the sun. It's the Beetlejuice is so big. Anyways, they get there. There's all these planets. They land on one that's like a twin planet to Earth. They land there.
That they call Soror.
Yes. Soror.
The Sorer. The Sorer.
The Soror. The Soror Drawer.
Yeah, there you go.
You could do a legal drama set.
Yeah, I couldn't quite
Soror.
pull off the Brando of
Yeah.
like the Sorer.
The Soror.
The Sorer.
A bug flew into my mouth. Okay, sorry.
Nerds.
Yeah. They land there. Yeah, we nailed an Apocalypse Now 30 Rock joke. What else we need?
Yeah.
We got one more?
R.I.P. Eleanor Copeland.
Anyway, they land there, and it's a twin planet. And what do they find? Well, so they have a little monkey friend.
Yeah.
Who I thought also like similarly was kind of like he runs off into the jungle. And I'm like, oh, or like is there going to be like some weird time travel shenanigans?
Yeah.
And he starts
Again, if
an
you
ape society.
it wasn't
on this
just a
planet.
napkin novel,
right,
you could
yeah.
explore some things like that. Sure.
Instead, he like runs off into the forest. These guys all go exploring the planet. They find a beautiful naked woman.
Yes.
Which he cannot stop describing how fucking hot she is.
Yeah.
A thing that is in both book and movie.
Yeah, well, yeah. Actually, in the movie, it was like Richard Zanuck's girlfriend, right? I think.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
believe I looked that up. Yeah.
Wow. But the thing that's funny too about just the description of her, which he calls Nova, because he's got naming rights clearly.
Sure. He's a man.
Is that
Of
he
course.
basically
he names
keeps,
all he sees.
he what is that trope that they point out? Was it like pretty but like pretty baby, like
sexy baby, yeah.
Yeah. Is just there's like her body was so womanly but so childlike, and she was so dumb but she was so fucking hot.
Yeah.
But she was like an infant, but like a hot
but a not in body.
Yeah.
Infant in brain, body of woman. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
He's into
again
that
the things
idea.
he chooses to focus on in his sci-fi book are wild.
And slight sidebar, like
maybe it's a translation thing. I don't know. Probably not. Probably not.
Well, and
though.
also like there was a part of me that was like, oh, he's trying to paint the character as sort of like this pompous, like French journalist. But then I was just like, oh no, I think this is just he's a pompous French writer.
Yeah,
and like cannot see how much of a fucking asshole he's writing the main character as.
Yeah.
That's probably exactly on the money. He's like, yeah, this guy's great.
This guy rocks.
Nothing wrong with him at all. He's doing good stuff.
He lands on a planet, immediately gets laid. Like, he's doing all right.
So lucky.
Yeah, just like if I landed there. I'm writing this.
There was a moment in the movie where they have Heston go like.
There's a lot of funny moments in the movie.
I don't even know if. Yeah. Well, anyways, he's like they're looking around at the herd of people they come across in the movie, and Heston goes, well, look on the bright side. Give us 6 months. We'll be running this place.
Yeah. And then immediately gets captured.
I just love the idea.
I laughed out loud at that line. It was good.
It's so fun. As if he was like an old-timey gangster like walking up to Italy that had no mob or something.
Chomping the bit the whole time. He's like just berating his friend.
Yeah,
Oh, you thought you were going to be a cool astronaut guy, huh? But no, we're fucked.
Immortality now, huh? You got a big statue. It's probably all ruined.
Smoking his cigar, which they let him take. It's amazing.
Awesome. I love it.
Well, also the thing that the movie and also the cartoon, which I watched a bit of and we can talk about later, is like there's the theory of relativity thing where their time and like Earth time, you know, are obviously like it's 2,000 years later Earth time, which comes into play obviously in the movie. But like the movie never acknowledges the theory of relativity and is just like, you know, it's just how this freaky deaky stuff works is like, you know, Earth time and our time is different.
He also describes it in a way that they didn't know that before they left. Like it's a very like
in the movie or the book?
Yeah, in the movie.
In the movie? I thought they do.
The way they're talking about it, it's like, did you not know what was going to happen?
Because that's what thank you. That was my thought. Was like, did the other astronaut think they were just coming back in like a couple years? And
he's like, I bet you thought it was going to be different. It's like, what did you think it was going to be?
Yeah.
Did you not know that you were going into like a?
Which is how he starts berating him.
Although he does say later, like the weirdly evocative thing about like the whole reason there's a lady astronaut in the movie is because she was going to be Eve for their new,
which is rough line.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe you did, and now that there's no lady to bone, you're like
everyone's just a little juiced.
What is our future?
Yeah, everyone's a little tight.
Just the Lost Boys.
Everyone
now.
just needs to compress a little, decompress. Mm-hmm. Well, I thought that was more in relation to the fact that they thought they were going to be back in like 500 years, not 2,000 years.
Either way.
It's definitely, there's the moment where it's like, look, you've gone gray at the temples. And it's like the tiniest amount of gray.
Yeah, he's such a dick when he lands.
He really
is.
It's
so funny.
When he laughs at him planting the little mini American flag, it is the most psychotic laugh.
It truly is.
It is like, this man is unhinged. He is unwell. We're supposed to root for this guy.
Yeah, it's like, how did he get on the team, man?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because he's such a. Well, anyway, sorry. Hold on. We'll come back to the movie.
We'll come back.
We'll come back to the movie.
Also, but
it's a much richer text.
Just that laugh from Heston is like so evocative of like, wait, what? Why are you laughing though? And like, just the possible reasons for him laughing that hard at that moment is like,
and the way it's shot, and like it echoes out into like the Grand Canyon, like, and you're just like, this is insane. Yeah, they put a lot on it. It's not a little chuckle. It is hysterical laughter.
Yeah, they lean on it.
Yeah, he is reaching literal hysteria. Yeah. So the book, they're out. They meet this hot lady.
Yeah.
And they're taking a dip. Everyone's swimming around, and they're like, "Oh, she's like a child or like an animal. She'll approach us. She won't." Mm-hmm. Then their little monkey friend comes back from the forest, and she fucking chokes him out.
Chokes him out.
Yeah. Dead.
Like,
neck
holy
snap.
Shit.
Boom. Goodbye, Hector.
Yeah.
You're fucking dead.
Yeah.
Which is
pretty
a fun
crazy. Yeah.
But that struck me as completely oddball.
Yeah.
Right. They're all captured at that point.
Because they're
another herd shows up.
They're hunted by gorillas.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. who we find out later the sort of like
fucking cops.
stratas. Yeah, exactly. The strata of
gorillas.
Apes,
all I see are pigs. Cops.
Ape society is gorillas are the fascists. Chimps are like the lefty liberal sort
science
of
people.
Science heart of an artist people.
And the orangutans are the conservative South.
Yeah, they're the conservative and politicians. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's basically it.
I said what I said.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah,
but
which they change around considerably in the movie.
Yeah.
Purposely, probably.
Wait, you're saying like Dr. Zaius just wants to make the Planet of the Apes great again?
Yes. I mean, I think it was a purposeful choice to make the blonde apes.
Yeah.
Like, so in the movie, well, it should be obvious this is going to be so spoilery, but so in the movie, there's the belated revelation that like Dr. Zaius has known forever that humans had existed on the planet before anything else. That's like end of the movie. So in the cartoon show, one of the first lines given to Dr. Zaius is he's addressing other apes, and he's like, okay, so we know that on this planet there used to be human life, but the current humans we got are real dumb. If any of them start talking, then we got to kill them. And it's like, wow.
It's probably not going to happen, though, but just in case.
But it's like, wow, that's the like character introduction is Dr. Zaius knows the secret of the Planet of the Apes.
As we all know, there's a secret human cabal on the planet that runs everything.
And we've got to protect ourselves from them rising up again.
Yeah.
Like...
Interesting. Yeah. Well, okay.
They do that in the Burton one too. It's like they keep an Uzi or something. It's some like artifact, but I think it's literally like an aging, decrepit like Uzi or some shit or like something like that.
This.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of the Burton one. Fucking Paul Giamatti as the orangutan slave trader guy. Is awesome. Anyways.
Which I would say, the gorillas are not cops or military in that, but the orangutans and apes are kind of interchangeable. He kind of gets rid of that class divide in the Burton one.
Yeah. It's kind of like he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
But so to the point of the novel, though.
Yeah.
So gorillas, even the ones that aren't cops, are still sort of like fascists who love hunting.
Yes, they go out and hunt and protect.
So the whole idea was that the scientists wanted to round up some humans, but the gorillas were like, well, we're going to shoot some of them too, right? We love shooting.
Mm-hmm. They sure do. They like popping these. It's funny because it's also in Kingdom of the Apes, like they have the herd of humans who all run all weird, like no arms, who just get whacked a bunch. I mean, it just like some get laid out by some gorilla linebackers every once in a while. And it was funny to see also, it was obviously in this like the weird scarecrow and then like the same herd thing, and then they're just all getting very similar. I mean, it's very similar. The them just getting absolutely destroyed by this crew of gorillas on horseback.
A lot less dreadlocks, though.
Yeah. So anyways,
a lot less white people with dreadlocks. Let me clarify.
That is always good. We should always lean towards that. Less better.
I don't know. Avatar 2 is really touches
Spider?
me. That small kid. Yeah.
Spider? Right, it's Spider, right? Okay.
No. You're
Yeah, okay. All right, good.
How many white kids with dreadlocks are in Avatar 2? Come on.
So anyways, they're captured. One of the third guy who we don't remember what his job was, he's killed.
Yeah.
Although he was...
Who unfortunately is the black guy.
In the movie, Dodge,
just gone.
Well, and so it is funny to see the things they do keep from like the book to the movie, because obviously it changes so dramatically, but like them finding the footprint as they're all on their big swim and like in the book, they're much more clear about like, oh, it's a woman's footprint, and then in the movie, it's like, oh, there's a footprint, and like people are here.
Yeah, sort of makes sense. It's like
it adds up.
How would you be able to really tell?
Right. Exactly. Well, they said it's so slender and slim.
Oh, okay.
In the way that only a woman's foot is.
Yeah, of course.
Women
only have one size foot. Yeah.
Well,
I know.
In the book, he does say it could be a tiny man, but
it's probably a sexy lady.
Yeah.
Look at how sexy
I am a French guy writing
is.
this. It's going to be a sexy lady.
So they're captured, and then they meet Zyra, who's like the chimp who's doing the research, right? And like she had, and eventually.
You mean Zira?
Zira, excuse me. Yeah, I was
come on.
Zira. Zira.
Yeah, just really put that R and pull something on it.
Let me roll the R there.
Oh God.
Right. She's gonna do like again, basically saying, should we be doing animal testing?
Yeah.
You don't like it if it's an animal doing testing on you. Maybe we shouldn't be doing animal testing on animals,
But also still relatively cruel herself.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying more, not her, more the point of the book.
Right.
Going for, yes, and the movie.
So the thing that's in the book that is more believable than the movie is just like, oh, everybody talks English. The apes talk English. They, is that the apes don't understand French.
Right.
But he immediately starts to try to present himself as like, I am much better than these dumbass humans over here. He's like, hello, fair ape friend. I am proud to introduce myself. I am Ulyssemer. And they
Let me just learn your language real quick.
Let me pick it up real fast.
But initially they just laugh at him because like, what the fuck is this dumbass human
Babbling
trying to
over
do?
here, just blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But he learns simian language quickly, and Zira is like, oh my God.
So you're saying he goes from ha 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 to ooh ooh ah ah?
Ooh.
Yep, thank you.
That's exactly what I was
Thank
saying.
He did the arm movements and everything, everybody, just so you know.
Ha ha ha. It's very close.
He's also twirling a baguette.
Oh,
Jesus.
oh,
God.
I feel very speciest right now.
You should.
And the thing that's funny is like the more that he tries, the more there's sexual tension in the book.
Yeah.
Like, there is like just the slightest hint in the movie. Zira is played by Kim Hunter, just in an excellent performance.
Yeah.
As like a, bleeding heart scientist who's kind of like, we shouldn't be, beating these. We should learn from them or whatever.
We should try and figure out what they're up to, what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Instead of
but
just
literally
shooting them.
in the novel, it's like, she's into me. And she's a hairy, weird ape lady, but I'm kind of into her too. Maybe.
And let me tell you, Tim Burton really runs with that aspect of it.
Well, Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
You gotta get her in there.
Hottest ape of all time, man.
Sure. So they're captured. Oh, we meet Cornelius, her fiance.
Yeah. Which in the book he's much more sort of like prim and like kind of almost like a ladder climber.
It's like 1980s evil fraternity vibes.
Yes. Yeah. Instead of the sort of like slightly absent-minded professor scientist vibe of Roddy McDowall in the movie.
Yeah.
Which I argue is a more interesting character than
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
could argue
Who's
that.
also giving a really
most
good
of the movie
performance.
is more interesting. Yes.
Yes, you could. So basically, I mean,
Yeah.
Oh well, there's also
He's
the
in
whole
a cage
thing.
for a while.
Yeah.
There's also the thing in the book where they're like, oh well, let's mate
right,
him and Nova.
Yeah.
And at first he's like, oh, distasteful, terrible. But what is it eventually that, apart from just him being a horny French bastard, that he's just like, whatever, I'll fuck in front of these apes.
Yeah, it just sort of just goes with the flow.
Yeah. I think he just was like, yeah, sure. why
Oh,
not?
it's because they put her in another cage and bring an old ugly into his cage.
Oh,
He's like, hold on, no, I changed my mind.
oh shit! I
he's
didn't know
like-
they were. Oh no!
He's like, well, I'm definitely not fucking the old ugly. Bring her back. Bring her back.
Right, that's what I thought. Man, animal.
Oh boy. Yeah. So they mate, and
Which in the movie is also funny because there is this slight like, oh, this is so distasteful, but now you're with me forever, Nova. Don't go anywhere. You're constantly with me.
you're my constant companion.
Yes.
Well, we can talk about, but I was gonna say, actually, apparently, they were going to have Nova be pregnant at the end. Oh. And they made they shot a bunch of footage with her pregnant, and then they just were like, maybe we don't want to say that he did that with her.
Well, yeah, that's
also, it's kind of more bleak because it's kind of open-ended.
Yeah. Well, and apparently also one of the original endings is like he's supposed to be killed by like an ape sniper as he's like
he implied
escaping.
that he wasn't going to live very much longer when they let him go, right?
Yeah, I kind of think. Well, because where is he going to go? Right.
Well,
I guess
also that, yes.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, the book, they're in there. He becomes like he gives a big speech. He wows everybody. They give him tailored clothes. They're like, here, you got real clothes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Zira's like, all right, you're gonna have to go to
come up with a plan,
council or something.
Yeah. Like Congress, even like
like
you're gonna be the last speaker. You're gonna stand before them and say, and it also like they talk about how like things like him like drinking water to like quench his thirst out. It's like, ooh, he's so smart. He knows to drink water.
Can I say my favorite part of the book is
Sure.
when he's describing them clapping with both their hands and their feet. And it's just like he's so into the description. I like laughed out loud when I heard that part. It's so
well, that's
good.
the thing about Ulysses is that he kind of wants to be the best dude on the planet.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, this is something I can achieve is like high status above all these motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
So he laps it up every time. Like it's like people are like, oh, you are remarkable. He's like, yeah, I fucking know I'm remarkable.
Thanks, dog.
Turns out
Which
I am,
again,
yeah.
which again is me thinking that Pierre Boulle is like being satirical, and I'm like, no, I think Pierre Boulle is just like, yeah, Frenchmen are awesome.
Yeah.
This dude is awesome.
If you dropped a French guy into an ape society, he'd be running it in
He's
3 months.
running it in 3 months. No questions asked.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
That guy'd have a vineyard and a goat cheese farm tomorrow.
But yeah, and to the point where like in the book he leaves Nova behind because he's like, I kind of feel bad that I was fucking someone's intellectually inferior to me.
Yeah.
Just to get my rocks off, and instead I'm gonna live in this fancy apartment and like
Yeah, he gets kind of a nice life, and then what?
That reminds me. There's in the movie. There's another great line where they're talking about like, oh, I didn't know humans could be like monogamous, and he's like, lady, on this planet it's easy, or something like that. I fucking died laughing. There's so many like quips that I did not remember.
No, he's got him. He's
It's
full of
really
them.
fucking funny. Yeah.
So he gives his big speech. He's rich and things are going well, and then
Except for his friend who
he
for
goes
some
back to
reason
the
has
zoo.
regressed without any something you can explore.
right
Also,
now, they're
maybe
just like,
figure
out
he
why
wants
he
to be a
regressed.
zoo man.
and
Yeah.
there's like a not connected dot that's in the book that like the movie smartly connects, which is like, so he goes to see the professor,
Yeah.
and the professor.
Well, the
is-
movie brings tension out of it because it's like his like, oh man, they're gonna let me go for sure when they see my buddy can also talk, and they're like, oh,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, but so like
Cut his brain out.
in the book, he sees the professors at the zoo, and he's acting like the zoo humans, just like reaching for like scraps of fruit from like kids and shit. But like there's never the payoff. Like he's like hoping is like, oh well, maybe if you guys leave and then it's just me and him, like we can get back to like whatever. But he never shows evidence of like intellectual like he's diminished. But like then later, Ulysses goes to the place where they do the medical experimentation
Testing,
and have
yeah.
like fucked with people's heads.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, is this where they reveal we fucked with the professor? That's why he's like a dumbass in the zoo? No,
Yeah.
never draw that very obvious line that could be drawn. And then the movie just easy takes those two dots and connects them.
And even the new trilogy sort of connects those things. It's like, okay, so humans diminish and the apes get smarter. It has to be related in some way. So it's a virus that, propels them different directions. But it's like even in the past in the book, it's like the humans just, I mean, kind of real talk, but like the humans just get dumber and lazier because of movies and TV. It's kind of what he implies.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, sort of, but like not that dumb, man. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like Wall-E level humans dumb. Like, what are you talking about, bro? They're just like leaving their homes, and they're like, you can have our homes, apes. We're going to live out. It's like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, because like,
what
the
are you
apes
talking about?
become like servants, and they surpass them, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the idea of people training apes to be servants is
Something we should do tomorrow.
wild.
Oh
Yeah.
no, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
It's like, are you talking about race? It's like, no, he's just training apes for some reason. Okay,
so
feels like an example to talk about racism, but whatever. Okay, go ahead, Mister.
Twofold. So the sequence we're talking about, he finds out Nova's going to have his baby in the book.
Yes. Yeah.
And so he goes to the hospital to see how humans are treated, and he's like, we're not going to do any of this weird surgery stuff to Nova. It'll be like on the up and up. But just so you know, this is the weird surgery stuff we do. And one of them is applying electrodes to a human brain that allows them to reflect on generations past
genetic memories,
in which
again, God level science.
The
that they're just like, whatever.
The things you're talking about, the like humans got dumb because of shitty movies and television. Like
which again, real talk, sure. But
so how much do you think Pierre Boulle was? He was at a cafe. He was on his last cigarette and his 15th glass of champagne. Well, and he was just like, I need to explain how the fuck this happened to this planet. What can I come up?
I need an ingenious way to bring it into the text itself.
Yes, exactly right.
Okay.
So, electrode brain generational memory thing. It's the craziest.
I'm just gonna have ideas that you could base an entire book around and just kind of throw them away.
Yeah, it's essentially kind of like the process in Exorcist 2, where it's like the person is like talking for every character is like it's described as like, and then I heard the voice of the person was talking as a woman, and then the person was talking as a man. It's like, this is nuts. This electrode brain shit is nuts.
Thing is basically turns them into like a fucking radio of history, a hardcore history podcast,
a genuine radio
of the past of the Planet of the Apes.
There
you go, nailed it. That's the prequel we'll do in 20 years.
Yeah, we can hang on to it, back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Hang up the other phone. So in the movie versus the professor, rather than answer the Professor Antel thing like it is in the book, in the movie he sees his buddy, the other
Landon.
Astronaut that he was fucking bickering with.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, we're gonna do this. What's up, Landon? And Landon just like stares at him blankly, and then he. Like Landon spins and he's
horror
like,
film pan turn. Yeah.
There's a giant lobotomy scar on the side of his fucking brain.
He's not having a good time.
No, he's real confused.
Yeah. But arguably happier, he was having a real tough time when they landed.
Knowledge is a burden.
And now he's just blissfully dumb.
He's been freed.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
That's right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the humans did it. They decided to be dumb because it's easier.
It's just so much
They're like,
easier.
I'd rather just have someone feed me shit. Like, I don't want to have to think about this in any way.
Yeah. Well, again, I think also, as you're saying, again, it could be a race thing with the whole servants, but it's also, that's why it's so French. Everyone in France has a house servant. He's like, what if the house servant overcame me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely the wording of it feels very, like, oddly pointed against, like, probably they're African servants or something.
But then it doesn't go into it at all. You're like, come on, man.
No. So then what? They're like, they have a kid, and he starts talking at like 3 months or something. They have Sirius is the kid's name.
It sounds right-ish.
And eventually they're like, we should really just skedaddle. Let's get off this planet.
Yeah.
And so then they get on a thing to an orbiting ship. And they're like, okay, we're going back to Earth now.
Yeah.
And they land. He sees Orly Airport, and he sees the Eiffel Tower, and they're coming down, and then...
And they're really milking it. It's like, the technology is still the same as it was 2,000 years ago. That's
strange.
That's weird.
Yeah. Oh, look at that army Jeep that's pulling up.
It's like backlit. I can't see anybody's face.
Interesting.
And then it's a gorilla.
Oh, no.
A smart gorilla gets out. But I guess they already shot off their message in a bottle.
But also the thing that's funny is that, like, rather than just end there, it's like, we have this frame device. Got to come back to the people that were reading the manuscript.
But are they people?
Are actually apes.
Yeah, and they're like preposterous.
No human could ever write this.
No chance.
And the book's over.
And scene,
Okay, so the movie, which is good.
The
book
takes all of that and goes, what if we think about this one step further?
Yeah. So that is the thing is like I was still vaguely like enjoying the book when I asked you, Allan, like, what do you think? And he's like, I fucking hate this.
I fucking hated that book, man.
And definitely at that point, clearly you colored my experience, but also at that point, like the book stopped being interesting in any way, because that was the thing is I was like, oh, there's still the kernels of ideas that are in the movie in the book, but the
book
story,
is an idea machine. It's like, buddy, come on.
Going past them all.
But the story of the movie is such a better story.
Yes. Without not even trying, it's just so much better.
Yeah, and that's why you get Rod Serling. A guy who's a good writer, who's like in tune to society in a way, and made his career on being like, here's a little parable that applies to a life in the world in the 60s or the 50s, and it's like, give him that idea.
Right. It is kind of a parable in a way,
totally. I mean, that's
just like those Twilight Zones.
Just like the Twilight Zone. I mean, it has that classic Twilight Zone sort of ending, obviously. But he really hones in on it. But again, the writing of it is so smart. Like, even the very beginning where Taylor is just like doing like a captain's log. And is like basically like, I wonder, we've been gone for 700 years. Does man still fight man? Brother against brother?
But he also kind of doesn't really give a shit. Based on his vibe.
Well, he's like a misanthrope. Like, that's his whole thing where he's like, I hate people.
He just kind of rocks, man.
Because there's got to be something better than man. Is like his whole idea, which he says, which is awesome. I love that shit. But
sort of be careful what you wish for, like right at the top.
Exactly, right. And also just setting the stage of like, again, for also what is part of the ultimate reveal is that it's not only in this movie like the apes rise up because we fucking blow ourselves up with nuclear warfare, which was obviously on everybody's mind all the time. And so it's like, oh, this thing of like, man's always killing man, there's got to be something better, and he never finds it. He finds all these apes who are just basically like on the slower trajectory, who've like done the same thing but are getting there.
That's one slight difference between book and movie, is that in the book it's basically carbon copy of like 20th century life, like describing
but to an absurd degree, where they had the same art, like expressionist periods, and it's like,
exactly,
how does that work, man?
Right. Yeah, everything developed exactly the same way.
Are you just saying every planet just repeats the same history?
A million apes at a million typewriters, you're going to get the same thing on
Whereas for the movie, it's more like they're kind of earlier in civilization, which is partly a budget thing, I guess.
100% it was a budget thing.
But like, so it's like a little bit more like slightly well outfitted caves, and we have like a laboratory, but it's still like in a rock face. Like
the cages are not like exactly. It's not as
they do kind of have like pretty crazy technology, but they like haven't explored like 3 miles away from where they live.
It's the forbidden zone, Allan.
But it's like, you gotta explore. How do you get
forbidden?
All these? I know. I know.
And all science is through the lens of the religion. Like church and state are not separated, and science and
doesn't he have a line where it's like, I see there's no conflict with it being both, or something like that. And it's like, well, okay, sure.
For you, maybe.
For you, who's controlling it all. There's no conflict, obviously.
So I mean, I guess just they're astronauts flying through space. They're coming home. Takes them way too long. They land. That was the other thing too, and maybe this is growing up in the American Southwest. I was like, no, this is definitely Earth. That's the Grand Canyon. They're flying through the Grand Canyon. That's right. Which all that shit was awesome. That is some of the most beautiful fucking photography.
Well, that's one of those things, thinking about it, just because of like the way sci-fi movies had been made up to that point is, of course, like other planets have always been like just the desert. On Earth.
Yeah.
So in my head, it's almost like audiences are maybe supposed to be like, all right, we're suspending disbelief again. Obviously, this is
a different planet.
Yeah.
Which is total. I mean, and it's only, I'm sure at the time, and when I saw it as a kid, it didn't even jump out to me as much. But now, as like an adult who's like been to the Grand Canyon and seen the Grand, I'm like, look, that's where they're at.
Right.
Also, I feel like Devil's Tower's in there. Maybe,
much like human history repeats on other planets, so does the actual features of the planet.
The geographic. Yeah. I mean, that Also, this was again a thing. I'm completely off topic, but like. I would have thought that would have been an interesting idea. It's like, oh, it's been 2,000 years. Like, right, geographically, things would have changed, right? Like, so, like, oh, we were supposed to land.
It's not enough time. I don't know.
It's 2,000 years or something. You'd be like, I guess that's true.
Of like millions of years.
I guess that's true. I guess geographic features, but you would think
again, we'll save it for our radio of the past on the Planet of the Apes.
That's
pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah, because I would have liked it if they'd been like, oh, right, where we programmed ourselves to land used to be NASA, but now it's a fucking swamp or whatever. I'd have been like, oh, that's cool, but they don't really. That's not really what happens. They don't actually ever explain like what went wrong with their return, right? Yeah,
but like, something went wrong. But I agree with the choice, and obviously it becomes the gotcha at the end that like this is Earth. But like the fact that it is Earth the whole time versus the book where it's like there just happens to be a planet that's exactly Earth, except this is flippy floppy, is a little dumber.
Yeah,
just a little stupider.
Again, that's the brilliance of someone like Serling, who's like, we'll just make it Earth the whole time.
Yeah, he's like, oh man, he was almost there. Let me just move some shit around. Yeah, exactly. Now we got a great thing going.
This is like almost a good idea. Let me really turbocharge it.
Right.
But yeah, it is. So they're there. Yeah, they all crash land. They get it captured. Like it kind of follows the same thing. He's brought in. Yeah. And Ziara wants to do. Testing on him. Zira. God, I'm never going to nail it. Ziara, like the one.
ZR. Well, now I'm wondering, is it ZR? I thought it was Zira. Okay.
I don't know.
I know it's spelled Zira, but just think of it as Zeera in your head, in your mental picture.
Zira. Okay. She's engaged to Cornelius, who's again like an absent-minded archaeologist man, and they do a real cute little kiss with their rubber mouths.
Ross from Friends situation, yeah.
So basically, So in getting captured, he's shot in the throat. Which I was like, how does...
Oh, Heston,
gets blasted in the throat.
It's like you could just have him like get hurt, like get knocked in the throat and just be like,
It definitely felt like, because also that's what happened to Dodge. Like he gets hit twice also in the neck. And I was like, man, these guys are going for the neck.
Yeah, these guys are not fucking around, dude.
Shot here. And
they've got a lot of experience.
Which, again, I was like, oh, he's our main character. That's why they're going to tie him to this bamboo stalk and carry him to the infirmary, apparently, as opposed to just like letting him bleed out.
Right.
Anyways, he and she nicknames him Bright Eyes.
Yeah, Zira sees him and is like, this one's got a real sparkle
There's something
in his eyes.
He's trying to talk. He's trying
Which the
to
Tim
talk.
Burton one has none of that
There's
nuance.
something
He goes from
behind
capture to talking within like 5 minutes.
Actually, that's something that's funny about the cartoon.
So stupid.
They've introduced the thing I said, which is that like our main I forget the name, but the blonde guy in the cartoon, who's not supposed to be Charlton Heston, overhears one of them saying the thing about like, if it's revealed that any of the humans can talk, we have to kill all the humans. So that gives him a reason to not talk for a bit. Mm-hmm. But the thing that's so funny is the animation is so cheap in the cartoon that he's not expressive, and instead of calling the character Bright Eyes, they just call him Blue Eyes, because he does have blue eyes, but they can't like make it
Paul Newman's in there, man. That's cool. Oh, I will say, I also just remembered in the Tim Burton one, all the humans can talk.
Right.
So it's like, what happened?
What?
Yeah, they just talk. And the apes understand. They all talk the same language. I'm like, what the fuck what are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing?
I guess
they just don't have technology, but they're still relatively
intelligent on some level. They're just not big enough
they have
fight
like
a gorilla,
they have like goatees and shit. Like they're doing all right. Well, what are you doing, man?
Can I say one thing that did bother me? And this is not even a big point, but it's like they wake up out of cyber sleep, cryo sleep, and they have a beard. Which is like
one of the worst beards I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
Heston could clearly grow a beard, but the other guys could not.
Yeah. Heston looks good with a beard. Looks good. These other guys, they pasted
maybe
it on.
They should all have beards, and they're like, "Fuck, you're right."
I guess we would have to. But the thing is, like, they do
get the spirit gum and some
just pop it on there.
Just find a rug, cut some of this rug off, and stick it on their face.
And it's like not long. Well, it's also one of the great. Which Seagal movie is it where he like ends up in a coma?
Hard to Kill.
Hard to Kill, and then he wakes up
rules.
in the coma with a beard that like he practically like rips off his face to clean shaven. Basically, oh shit, I get this off me, and then it's just so bad. The thing that bothers me is that I'm like, oh right, so they had a beard come in. It's not like the longest beard, but I'm like, also, wouldn't all their fingernails be super long?
No, you can't think about it too much.
No, unfortunately, it was an intrusive thought, and I'm like, his fingernails should have been like 5 inches long.
Well, but it's also one of those I guess I was trying to think, I was like, why did she die if it's like in their time it's only been a couple years? But I guess if like her body was...
Well, she probably didn't want to be the Eve on this new planet. It was like, let me just fucking take some sleeping pills. Well, I'm not doing that.
Well, that was the other thing is I was like, now that I'm thinking about it, I was like, even if it was only a couple years, but like her body was awake enough that it was like, I need food and wasn't getting fed, then she would die. That would almost make sense, but like her body looks desiccated like it's been hundreds of years.
Yeah, it's quite a jump scare, and like the first, like it's a feat of special effects where they're like, oh, and what's up with Stuart? Let's go take a look up there.
Go, oh shit, wow. I guess she's dead. Anyways, let's go down to this planet.
Yeah, they have to move on. They must move on.
I mean, he moves on immediately.
No, they have to.
Doesn't his buddy say something like, "Oh, poor Stuart"? He's like, whatever.
Well, the thing starts like
sinking.
This ship starts sinking. And
they got to get out of there.
Also, the funny thing of like them like not bothering to test the atmosphere, like is just like, God, I hope this is drinkable water and like not acid and like breathable air. Okay, great. Okay, it's good. Okay.
Well, there's that, and it's also the moment when then they end up back at a pond or a fresh body of fresh water, and they all immediately strip down and jump in and start having the time of their life. And I was like, but you landed in water.
Yeah.
You just saw water.
Specifically in that scene has some of the funniest framing.
Yeah.
Where they're all naked, and then the two guys go down and they go, look at this, and it's just you're just looking
drops
at just above
Heston's
Charleston
crotch. Heston's cum
and he
gutters.
Goes, and then he also bends down and
it was good.
It definitely is like Schaffner definitely was having a joke. He's like, come on, we got to make it look like they're blowing it. We got to do that.
Come on.
We got to do that.
It's fantastic. It's really, I mean, again, like it's such a good director. I love Patton, and he did a good job with Patton. He's a good director.
Oh, and real quick, because we talked about it before the show, but the other writer credited on the movie is Michael Wilson, who previously wrote Bridge Over the River Kwai, which is another Pierre Boulle book, which famously at the time Michael Wilson was blacklisted. So Pierre Boulle got the credit on the screenplay, even though he cannot speak English, and in fact won the Oscar, even though he wrote not a word of Michael Wilson's screenplay for
greatest country on earth, bro.
But French excellence.
But we're also saying like the theory must have been is like, well, this guy was able to deal with this Frenchman's nonsense before, like he must be able to adapt it for Planet of the Apes. All right.
Yeah, well, and again, from what I understand, it's like Serling did a pass where all of the technology was more, if not, modern, futuristic, and someone was like, that's going to be expensive. Can Michael Wilson come in and make them all like cheap? Like, can he make it where like their medical tools are like a stick or something? And and that's basically where it went. Yeah, that was his biggest sort of contribution in terms of the plot.
Like they sort of have cages and lab coats. That's kind of where they peaked.
It's like, instead of
technologically speaking,
those are their big advancements.
Their major industries.
They just knew they had to wear lab coats. So like, for some reason, this just feels right. I have to wear this white coat. I don't know. What is it about being a doctor?
Instead of like ape cars and like ape houses and whatever, can you just I don't know? Horses. They ride horses.
They're on horseback and they're in caves. We can find caves in Malibu.
Oh, I can get you a cave tonight.
Yeah, that's not a big deal for us. But if we got to build a set, an ape house, that's going to be too much money. Worked out great.
Which Burton went full hog on. He was like, I got to go. But no, not really. It's basically
Lincoln,
still caves.
Ape, Lincoln, ape, Lincoln. Okay.
Did I ever tell you about the script I wrote in college as a joke, Ape Lincoln?
Please.
I'll tell you about it sometime.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you all.
You don't want to do it now?
No, not really.
Give me the log line. Give me the log line.
It's really dumb. It doesn't have one. It's just, well, my teacher, he made us read Save the Cat because he loved that book. And I was like, I fucking hate this book. I hate it so much. It's like, this is not how you write a screenplay. Even as like a college student who didn't know shit, I knew that.
The man who wrote Blank Check would disagree with you.
It's such a bad book, man. The Dan O'Bannon one is way better. Anyways,
sure.
I just took all of the points that he was like literally Xeroxing from the book and handing out to us. I just hit all the points that the book did to a T, and my teacher fucking ate it up. And it was called Abe Lincoln, and it was like so unbelievably absurd that I was just like, there's no way he's gonna love this. And he fucking ate it up, dude.
The way the opening image rhymed with the closing image. I love it.
Yeah, basically. No, I don't even think I can summarize this movie that I didn't actually finish or care about writing.
The way that Abe Lincoln saved that cat.
Beautiful.
I would
He put the cat in his giant cap.
He's insane. Yeah, I do. Just another detail that I did enjoy from the book is that, again, their ape clothes. It's like, oh, they're similar, except instead of shoes, they wear leather gloves on their feet.
Yeah,
which I was like, that's kind of because they got hand feet.
Yeah, sure,
that's fun.
Yeah,
they got little hand feet. They got to wear gloves.
Yeah,
which people do now to run in, and it's weird
and it's disgusting.
I hate it.
Yeah.
So where were we?
God, I'm lost.
They meet Nova. They meet Nova. They meet in the big fracas where Dodge gets killed, and then Landon, and they're taken in. He's bright eyes. He speaks to them. Zira takes pity on him.
He's trying to talk. He's like mouthing, and the people that work there are kind of like, look at him. He's trying to like mimic. It's like
she's smart.
It's like a trick. Ha ha.
He thinks he's people.
So he tries, or he at one point steals a pencil and paper from Zira, writes on it, "My name is Taylor." And then
the guard beats the ever-loving shit out of him.
Right.
And then, she's like, oh, he can make words on paper. He must be. And then she gets Cornelius in on it.
And then he's like talking about, I came from another planet. And they're like, that's not possible. Flying is not a thing.
Flying.
And then he makes a paper airplane. And they're like, what?
This is the smartest man that's ever been. Yeah,
it doesn't Zaius like crumple it in his hand.
Yeah, he does.
He's so like, fucking mad at the idea
he's
of
like,
flying.
What is this? And it's like, oh, it's just a toy that floats on the air.
Yeah, that's literally what she says.
I hate
a toy that floats on the air.
Yep, that's good. And Zaius hates it, Dr. Zaius. So we learn orangutans. Mr. Dr. Zaius is number one orangutan.
Yeah.
And but basically, that Cornelius has been working on excavating this part of the Forbidden Zone.
Yeah.
That maybe something. There's people once lived here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
They go over.
But seemingly no one else seems to want to know that.
Yeah.
Well, they're very uncurious about the planet they live on.
I cannot stress this enough. It's the Forbidden Zone.
Yeah. 1,200 years ago, the lawgiver.
Right.
Which is basically like
but they got lab coats now. They don't gotta listen to him, dude. They're a new people now.
It's true.
They're lab coats.
But there are Christian doctors to this day.
Sure, man.
There are Christian scientists reading this to this day.
And so because of the scrolls,
right?
It's a forbidden area. Which, of course, like as we said, like Zaius knows that like what he's in danger of discovering is proof that humans existed and were smart before apes.
Yeah.
And as politicians to this day do, they wield their religious fervor to keep the population dumb.
Are you trying to tell me
a lot on its mind?
Trying to tell me all the teens in that universe aren't going to the Forbidden Zone to party?
I mean,
get the fuck out of here.
First place you'd want to
go.
Of
course they're going
First place you want to go.
That's like make out point. Of course they're going to the Forbidden Zone.
Well, especially considering that, what is his name? Lucius?
Lucius, yeah.
Like Zira's nephew is clearly supposed to be like a snot-nosed, upstart, who, is like what's the joke? Like, never trust anyone over 30.
Dude,
like,
that was my favorite joke in the whole movie.
Yeah.
I thought that line killed me. And he's like, yeah, I know.
Because the 1960s
as he like
culture.
tosses a cigar in his mouth and rides off.
I mean, they do have a bunch of those types of bits of like, you know what they say, human see, human do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come
Like-
on.
like
No, that's pretty good.
That's
Like
good.
literally the
It's
moment.
don't trust anyone over 30.
Yeah, slightly different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, there is a moment where Taylor breaks out
right.
because they're going to. Zaius understands he's a threat, and it's like, all right, let's geld him
Yeah, he's going to be castrated.
so he cannot mate and cause the ending of the book. Maybe he's read the book. He's like, no, we're not going to have that happen. And we're going to mush his brain up too. So
Just to make sure.
yeah,
Double it up.
Get rid of the,
Sort of a double boop situation.
get rid of the genitals.
More
get
of a
rid
swoop
the,
and a boop, maybe.
the brain.
Hey,
as
because
well.
look, they still mate even though they got no brain. So got to do both.
You got to do both.
So he breaks out, basically runs around the whole ape village for a good 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, that's an amazing. Yeah,
And people just gasping at him.
well, and isn't that when he finally comes across Landon, who's been lobotomized, right?
Yes.
After he's been like running around
Yeah.
and pushing down old women and
Yeah.
old ape women and children.
Wait, no, that's
walking-
later. That's
Is,
later.
is that later? Am I
Walking-
No, that's later, yeah.
walking through a ape funeral and like
Yeah. Two apes are holding a big piece of glass. And
Oh,
he's
the
one of
plate
them
glass. That would have been so gay.
but anyhow,
Very Wayne's World.
but the punchline of the scene is what we described. He gets caught in a net, and they go to like put the leash back on him or something. And he's just like, "Take your paws off me, you damn dirty ape!" And then everyone in the village is like, "Oh,
shit."
The fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone knows it, even if you haven't seen the movie, but it's a great moment because
It
he's
is.
been so frustrated to talk, and the first thing out of his mouth is basically a slur. It's just like, I'm so mad. I fucking hate everyone. It's a madhouse.
Oh yeah.
Good.
So yeah, it basically leads to this tribunal. So So what I wanted to say, building off of your human see, human do, is there's a moment in the tribunal where they're hearing testimony about like how he could actually be an alien from another planet and he's not like a weird mutation. The three guys in the tribunal, one starts like putting his hands over his ears. One puts
Over his
You
eyes.
got to do it.
Yep.
You got to do it.
and one puts his hand over his mouth.
Apparently that was ad-libbed on the day. They were just
really?
what if we try that? And then they had it in a like test screening, and they're like, it's probably not going to make it. It's not that good. And then apparently like the test screening audience was like ripping their chairs out. Like, this is the greatest thing we've ever seen. Burn the theater down.
Because actually, that's the thing is like during the testimony, there's a shot where it's in progress, like they haven't all done the motion, and they cut away, blah blah blah, cut back, and they're in the pose. So it's
It's pretty good.
Pretty solid.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then basically Cornelius uncovers the cave that has all the old stuff back in
the tribunal, the result is like, well, all right, if we go to your supposed site
right
in the Forbidden Zone that proves something that this guy is
right, because Zira and Cornelius, they're all being charged with heresy, right? Or
Heresy.
heresy, not heresy. Sorry,
Sort of similar.
yeah, you see it written, you're like hearsay, heresy, whatever. Heresy, yes, and that's
so
what they're
basically
trying to be cleared of.
It's like, but there's evidence of this shit that would have happened before the scrolls were even written. So how can it be heresy if it happened before?
Yeah.
And then the third act of the movie is like them going to the cave.
They find a little talking baby doll.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, sure, your nephew might have a human doll, but why would it talk?
Yeah.
It's a great quote. I mean,
Yeah. Pretty haunting sound.
Oh, yeah. It would have been terrifying to have that in real time, but then 1,200 years later, 2,000, 3,000, a long time, it's really still creepy.
And Zaius is like, okay, yeah, you proved it. And you, Taylor, you go off with your Nova, who's really not a character, but, you know, you got to have a lady, I guess.
She's with you.
You go trot off on your horse, and best of luck to you. I'm not going to, arrest these guys because they've proved it's not heresy. And then horse goes away, and he's like, "All right, blow that shit up. You're on trial for heresy."
Everything's going away. It doesn't exist. Nobody knew what happened here.
Yeah.
a great,
Nobody says shit.
a great fucking dark ending. You know, those late, like basically. Also, I guess it would have been 68 is somewhat. Is that pretty concurrent with Watergate?
No.
Watergate's 72. Yeah, no, okay. Anyways, yeah, no, they should have been Nixon's first term.
But it's definitely a skeptical time where we're like, I don't know if we trust
this government.
Folks in charge.
4 years later, but Nixon sucks. He's bad. Oh, I guess they were getting into Vietnam, so that's where they're like,
sort of a real bad time.
It's a real Gulf of Tonkin. We cover that shit. Was it real? Nah, we're gonna go to war. We don't care. It's great.
And then, of course, the payoff that everyone knows, they're trotting along on the horse, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And then it's slowly approach. And the blocking of it, because you can tell something's coming, even if you don't know the payoff, which at this point it seems impossible you don't. You know something's coming because you're like, why are we watching them ride the horse for this long?
Yeah.
And the camera comes down in such a nice way because you're just sort of like watching the horse come towards you a bit. And then the camera kind of like booms down a little bit, and you see like a little metal something in the left part of the frame. You're like, oh, what's this weird metal thing? And then
it's a gift from the French, who are awesome. It's
true.
the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that survived.
Yeah, they milk it a little
French
bit longer with a few more shots, but then it's Lady Liberty.
Yeah,
la Statue de la Liberté. Mm-hmm. And he's like, we blew it, you maniacs.
You blew it up.
Yeah. End credits, no music. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
It's a thinker.
It's even worse than you thought.
Yeah.
It was Earth the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Earth the whole time.
Yeah. What?
Holy shit! What? I thought it was a parallel planet
where they
had the same stuff as
the
Earth.
Statue of Liberty, it was an ape.
Why would the Statue of Liberty have a human face, though? If it was another planet.
Well, it's kind of buried. Maybe there's like a...
it was an ape face.
Yeah.
Ape Lady Lincoln.
Some ape jowls.
Ape, something,
Ape Liberty.
Here you go. Ape Liberty? You want to give that another shot?
It's not my fave.
Okay.
Not my best work.
Ape Liberty. Jesus.
Statue of Chimperty.
Oh, no. We don't have to do this.
No.
It's fine.
The orangutan of... No.
Yeah.
No.
But anyways, which is, I guess so, again,
Sympian Liberty.
I'd say... Oh.
There you go.
That's a little better.
Sorry.
Still not good.
It just slipped out like Tourette's. Go ahead.
Don't
better than what you said.
Don't quit your day job.
God, of course not. It'd be on the streets.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the clock. I think we're going to have to do a slightly shortened version of our usual wrap up. So
there's no need. Everyone already knows.
No. So that's what I was going to say. So final thoughts, and then we'll kind of just say what we know the result is. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Book bad. Movie good. Original human good, ape bad. In new trilogy, human bad, ape good. Done. Nailed it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Those were final thoughts?
Yeah, those are my final thoughts.
Okay.
Simplified.
Did you catch a virus?
Yeah. No, it was the spirit of Nova learning
Nova
to speak.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
You said keep it short. I kept it as short as humanly possible.
You did good.
Come on.
All right.
Tyler.
Whoa, so wait, what are we doing? Are we saying what we think?
So like final thoughts, and I guess maybe
also in final thoughts, I will say Tim Roth in the Tim Burton is really shooting for the moon, man. He's really going for it, and I sort of feel real sorry for him. Because in a better movie, it could have been something.
I mean, how is he to know it would be the first real Tim Burton stinker in a long line of what was
excellent
to be many
makeup
stinkers?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I would say...
So, yeah, I guess final thoughts, including your...
eventual judgment.
Movie good, book bad.
Book bad, book good, movie good. Okay.
There you go.
I would say the book is a good premise, a very good premise. And if you want to cash that premise out, You get Rod Serling to write it. You get Franklin Schaffner to direct it. You get Charlton Heston to act in it. And you get John Chambers to do the makeup. And you're gonna get it's gonna pay out like a fucking slot machine.
Yeah,
baby. It's gonna be real good
if you follow through on the ideas.
Yeah,
you actually execute them.
Yeah, exactly. If
it could be something good.
Yeah, they did. Everything sort of comes together very nicely into a movie that really works. And again, is a very heady movie. Yeah. It has fun, like adventure action stuff, can have a fight sequence, can have genuinely thrilling stuff, can have like amazing shots in it. Again, the whole crash landing scene looks awesome. Them wandering through the desert is awesome. Like just the natural wonder of Earth is great. It's great. It looks great.
And
it's
that final shot is excellent.
Final shot is sick as
Even
hell.
knowing it, I was like, I don't remember being quite framed this well.
And it looks
it's
so
pretty great.
Good. It looks so good. I mean, it genuinely looks fantastic. It's like, I think we were talking about this. There's something about like, first of all, that 20th Century Fox logo coming on, and then this feeling of a movie like this is just like, it's like a warm blanket of movie where you're just like, this is what movies are when they're good. And the
score is sometimes a little wild.
Oh, the score's insane.
Yeah, the score was
the
incredible.
Little
but there's some really weird ones.
Credit like score, like a theme break or whatever. Yeah, it's awesome. Jerry Goldsmith crushing. Yeah, get Jerry Goldsmith to do your score. That's fucking great too. So anyway, like they got top line people to do really, really good work in it, and a guy who was like, "What if there was more to this?" So, anyways, book's fine. Obviously, the movie is better in this case.
Yeah. I agree with that. Essentially, I did want to throw in, so I bothered to purchase the cartoon show, which I think was 75 or 76, Return to the Planet of the Apes.
I think you meant dollars for a second. I was going to be like, Justin, oh my
no,
God, dude.
No, it was
not tax deductible. We don't make any money from this.
We don't make any money, bro.
I basically, it was like $1 an episode. It's 13 episodes. It was like $13 for the set.
It's probably on YouTube.
And it is on YouTube, but it doesn't have the Spanish dub version. Anyhow.
Oh, sure.
Oh, wait, but hold on. Should we set Allan up for his text joke about Return to the Planet of the Apes?
Wait, what?
I texted you guys the image of the disc to say like, oh, look, I got Return to the Planet of the Apes. And you responded.
Oh, racist.
Yeah.
Which I had no idea what that was in reference to. And then I looked back at the cover and I was like, oh, that's the funniest thing you've ever said. So fucking good. Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
My phone just slipped out of my pocket. Sorry, continue.
Oh, no worries. But it's kind of interesting. I've only watched a few episodes, but clearly it's trying to distill the story of the first two movies into something for kids in a Saturday morning context. The lady doesn't die, but she does like fall down a hole. But I think she will be discovered by the people who live beneath the Planet of the Apes second movie. But I haven't gotten there yet. But what's really funny is it's directed by the guy who co-created Johnny Quest. So a lot of
it does have that kind of
a lot of those faces have the same look of Johnny Quest, which I think was also stolen for a lot of other things, like C-Lab.
Right.
Like literally, I'm watching some of this and I'm like, I kind of want to laugh at it because it kind of reminds me of C-Lab 2021. Like literally the black character who does not die, who is actually the second lead of the cartoon show, but he looks exactly like the one black character on C-Lab 2021.
That's very funny.
But it's fascinating. I am going to finish the 13 episodes. But I did also want to say really quickly, rewatching the first movie after seeing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, it was interesting to see all the Easter eggs that are in it, like the like weird scarecrow things that are at one point like by the bridge in Kingdom. And actually, now that I think about it, are in the opening credits of the cartoon. Like the first image of the opening credits of the cartoon are these weird like ape corpses on a scarecrow thing, and I'm like, this is how you open your Saturday morning cartoon credits.
Hey, kids,
look, the kids got to know.
Think a big old scoop of Cookie Crisp, and then
think about
for some racism.
Think about dead apes on a
in classism.
Yeah, think about dead apes on a
cross, crucified apes.
Just remember this thing from the Tim Burton one. It's not pivotal to the plot, but it is a huge part of the plot that none of the apes can swim. Like they're like incapable of swimming, so they all have like a phobia of the water. And there's like an amazing scene where Helena Bonham Carter has to like grip fucking Marky Mark as they go.
Remember this.
It's so ridiculous, man. But that reminded me in the newest movie when it's not Caesar. Who's Noah from the new movie?
Yeah.
Has to carry not Nova but May. Previously Nova, but currently May.
That's right.
The artist formerly known as Nova.
Yeah.
Carrying her up the mountain. It's kind of a similar little beat. Sorry.
Yeah. Also in Kingdom, the fact that Fort Wayne, Indiana comes up just seemingly out of nowhere. It's like, oh, well, that's where Taylor's from. Taylor's from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah.
And there's a few other things, but we are actually running low on time. So I will just say a book actually pretty good, but just like
Come on, bro.
Not in a way that I'd be like, seek it out. Like,
sort of sounds like it's not good then if you don't want someone to seek it out.
I just think that like there's a lot of conceptual stuff in it that the movie wouldn't have some of the good conceptual stuff without the book. So there's good stuff there, but it's like it's not refined. It's like so raw and undeveloped that I can't help but be like, yeah, movie better, definitely go movie.
Actually, I think I brought this up when I was talking to you the other day. My immediate thought, like maybe a third through the book, was like, this should have been a short story.
Oh, sure.
I think it would have been perfect as a short story.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, honestly, probably.
If it was a short story, then I would say maybe it's good.
Especially because it just it just peters out.
Yeah, but
it truly does.
Yeah. But I also have to assume
it's like, do you not want to explore your own ideas? Like, what are you doing? You came up with this, man. It's not homework. It's not an assignment. Unless it was. Maybe it was.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is it probably feels like one of those things where like he has to hit a word count for some like pulp publisher. It's like, well, it's got to be this many words. He's like, okay, we're going to blather on about like, I am so honored to be in front of you, Simeon.
I'm going to this monkey club, and I'm so drunk that I see the monkeys as intellectual people now. Oh, isn't that crazy? It's like, but come on, buddy.
Oh yeah. The thing where it's like, I just see them as like entities and not as apes.
And it's like again, you're getting close to like, you know how racists can't see people as people. It's like you're getting so close to that thought, man.
Yeah.
And then it's like, anyways.
Well, let me back off. Anyhow.
He really.
And then I slept off the hangover. And
he writes an entire novel that is beside the point. There's a point
beside the point of the Planet of the Apes.
It's just over there.
Oh, perfect note to end on. All right, thank you so much for listening. We will be back next month. We're still undecided as to what our next selection will be, but please hang out, check out our social media. We'll probably post about what to read to stay on track. And if you don't read this stuff, just enjoy the sound of our voices. Please keep coming back and come visit us in Los Feliz on Vermont Avenue at Skylight Books. All right, peace.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Skylight Books podcast series. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to check out the book featured in this episode or others, please visit skylightbooks.com. If you're in the Los Angeles area, stop by for one of our live in-person author events. You can find a calendar on our website. If you like this podcast, leave us a review. It really helps us out. Our music is by Duck the Piano Wire. Till next time.